Hello folks and welcome back to the Lego room for an incredibly frustrating and potentially disastrous Lego City update. Only the third Lego City update in this series and I've already made so many mistakes. I think future generations will be able to use this series as examples of things what you shouldn't do. And I mean, if you take one thing away from this video, plan, and plan again. There have been things that have happened since the last update. Let me show you around and then I'll explain exactly what my problem is. As you can see, I've had a jolly nice time actually building some sets. We've got some sets up there on the display shelf above where the city is going to be. I've got my my Batman Gotham City set stood on this display shelf. There are two pieces of evidence on the wall of me trying to wall mount it, but I tell you, that is just the smallest one of the disasters that I've had. I cannot get that thing to wall mount. Every time I try and line it up, like line the set up with the screws on the wall, these screws either get pushed into the wall or stuff starts falling off the set. I must have tried for an hour and got very cross, which really did put me in the best frame of mind possible for the city. As you can see, I've disassembled the little bit that we had. It's now here. So that's basically the train line. And we've got the Sanctum Sanctorum and a few other bits and bobs that had made it in, but have now come out because wood has arrived. Multiple pieces of wood, all far too big for this room. This enormous piece of wood is going to be the raised platform. And it is the size that I want the raised platform to be, but here's tip number one from this video. If you ever decide to do a 2.5 meter long by 1 meter wide L-shaped raised platform, and listen to this bit really carefully, do not buy that as one piece of wood. It's not only more expensive, it not only takes longer because they have to cut it to shape, but that's a really large, unwieldy piece of wood to try and move around the house. It doesn't fit through doors. It doesn't fit upstairs. It doesn't turn in the room. I've marked on the top side of it where I think I'm going to need to put the supports based on where the train track is going to be below. So I've put a cross where we can't put a support because there's going to be train track there, and a tick where I do plan on putting a support because there's no train track there. The only problem is all of the supports actually need to be on the other side of it because it is now currently the right way up. But I can't turn it over to actually be able to put the supports in because when I try and lift it up, and it is heavy, it goes up to where the shelf is. Oh, by the way, I've got some lights. Do you like my lights? I'm not sure if I'm settled on them as a way to light up the city, but it does give a little bit more light in here. So I'm struggling to turn it over. And obviously when I do turn it over, I'm not going to be able to see where my crosses and things are anyway. And then it's so heavy because it's so big. Even when I've got the legs on, I'm not completely confident I'll be able to turn it back again without snapping them off. But that's not even the current main wood related problem that I've got, because downstairs I did sort of learn from my mistakes. I have two more large pieces of wood that are basically going to solve the not being able to fit all the base plates I want on the tabletops thing. So I've got, when it's combined into a tabletop, two large pieces of wood which are exactly the right size for me to go 12 base plates wide by 4 base plates deep. The way is it 4 or 5? 4, I think. 12 wide by 4 deep, which is how I originally planned the city, but I didn't account for the fact that Lego base plates, these wonderful things, are not exactly 25 centimeters by 25 centimeters. They're like 25.5 by 25.5. And when you've got 12 lined up, they don't completely connect and touch to each other either. So to get 12 across, what I calculated and planned for as 3 meters is actually closer to like 310 centimeters. So what I plan to do is pull the tables away from the wall about that far, and then there'll be an overhang with the new pieces of wood around all sides, but it will be a solid surface for the base plates to go on and then for the raised platform to go on top. So I need to get them up and in here and onto the table underneath this piece of wood, which is going to be a tall order. I'm going to have to move all that stuff around to get them on that side as well. Even when I've got them in, the big L-shaped piece was ordered and sized up before I realised my calculations were off. So as you can see, it lines up exactly with the current table. So that isn't going to be 4 base plates deep, or I think I planned for 8 base plates wide. It's going to be less than that. So I need to make a decision on that, whether I go to 3 base plates of depth and have a gap that doesn't have anything on and do the same at this end, or whether I have an overhang with the mills plates on that and just move where the overhang is going to be. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with that yet. That feels like a future Kev problem. But for today, I need to get the big planks of wood in that are going to cover the tabletops that give me at least a base to build from. Then I need to figure out how to turn this over and get the supports in and then turn it back again. If, and this is a big if, I manage to do all of that, we'll then actually be able to start putting some Lego in the city. I'll be able to get the train track back in and put the Sanctum Sanctorum back in and start building some of the other modulars as well. The one other thing that I'm currently waiting for, I'm still waiting for a big order of parts from Lego, which will allow me to mills plate and ballast the train track and get the mills plate sorted for underneath all the modulars as well. So we're still not full steam ahead, even when we've got this wood sorted. But I feel like this video has got a 50-50 chance of success at the moment. And there's a very real possibility that I'm going to either break the wood, break the wall, break the ceiling, or break the support legs as part of trying to do this. And we're going to abandon the raised platform plan completely. So if by the end of this episode, I have got a raised platform, that will be an enormous success. And then another day, I might use that success to be brave enough to try and reattach that thing to the wall. Ah! Well, part 1, aka the easy bit, is done. We've got these planks of wood in. I went a little thinner on these because they're not actually necessarily supporting a huge amount of weight. They were really just to give me a little bit of peace of mind that stuff, particularly the train that's running down the edge, I didn't want that to just be tipping over the side. So I'm pressing down there really hard and it is not shifting, it's not tipping. Physics, that's what that A-level in physics was about. So I went for the 9mm thick on this. These were about £20 each, whereas the 18mm finished one for the raised platform, which is far too big and far too heavy, that was about £120, I think. So better value second time around. But I am having the same problem we had when we put the shelf up. I think I've shown you this before. Our walls in here are not straight and even. You can see that there's bits where the shelf isn't fully in contact. It's an IKEA lack, so it's the brackets hidden inside, and then you push the outside bit over the top, and it doesn't go flush to the wall because the walls aren't completely straight. And we've got exactly the same problem here, because you can see if I push this straight against this wall and this one straight against this wall, we come to the front, and either we have this gap. You can see there they've got a gap, and they're joined, or if we try and eliminate that gap, they're then uneven at the front. In the grand scheme of things, when we've got plates all over that, it's not going to be a problem. What we do need to check is that we can actually go 4 base plates deep without an overhang now, or else I've wasted good wood money. Well, it turns out I've actually overestimated a little bit too far the other way in the end, so we've got a little bit of room to spare. Actually thinking about it, especially with the way the raised platform is going to be, this might not be the end of the world, because if we take these two and line them up with the edge there, that gives us some gap between the edge of this base plate. So this will be train, road, modular, and then that's a little bit of a gap for a wall to cover up behind the raised platform before we get up here again and go road and modular, either 1.5 base plates deep so there's no overhang, or we'll go 2 base plates deep and it'll overhang a little bit here and just become part of the wall, and then the wall can support the overhang. We're going to pretend, just between you and me, that that was all deliberate and that's how I wanted it to be, because that actually has worked out quite well. Right, it's nearly tea time. I think that's enough for today. I've made an absolute mess of my Lego room, but I think I'm going to sleep on it before I get brave enough to try and put the legs on this. And then in the morning, get the legs on and then deal with whatever disaster is the fallout from that. I am also, before the end of this video, going to show you what's been going on in Anna's room as well, because Anna's room is this close to being done and ready to start churning out the content as well. She's producing loads of Lego sets for her backdrop. We now have internet all over the house, which we've never had since we've lived here. Just need to get her computer, lighting, microphone and stuff set up as well. But that's a job for tomorrow after I've done this. So wish me luck. Look at the state of this room. It's never going to be tidy again, is it? It's a Lego room. Well, it turns out, actually, I couldn't help myself and I had to finish it this evening, or at least get the legs in. I turned it over. Have a look. So these are where we can put the legs without them being in the way of where the train track is. I'm a little bit worried about putting any weight here, which we might not be anyway if we can't fit all the boards on. And then along the back is potentially going to be problematic. If this ends up feeling wobbly along the back, we do have the option of putting a bit of wood along the wall, like a beam of wood on the wall to rest this back side of it on, which we have talked about before. But now the challenge is turning it over without snapping any of the legs off, which is going to be easier said than done, I think, as a one-man job. Oh, folks, as much as I'm wary to declare myself history's finest DIY man, look at this. Genuinely didn't think I'd be able to get that done. I was so afraid. I'm a little bit afraid about this. This is the one area that I am a little bit worried about. But once we've got the tracks in, we can support that with some Lego, or potentially, I mean, we do have one that we can just kind of rest in like that. It doesn't necessarily need to be screwed in. And likewise with that corner, once we know exactly where the track is and what kind of clearance we've got, we can stick extra legs in. We've got 3 spare ones, but we've only gone and done it, boys and girls. The job now, and I really am done for the day now, and we'll carry on tomorrow, but the job now is to get some base plates on, get some Lego on, get the train track back on, work out where I can put in a couple of extra support legs. But at the back, it feels absolutely rock solid. So I think we're fine back there. The worry is here and here. But over there, because that was pre-measurement balls up, you can see we've got the overhang, which isn't a big deal because it might actually work out for the best. If that's a Mills plate, it's going to be sturdy. And then we can have a wall coming down there that will actually have some board below to rest on. Or if I'm a coward and I am genuinely worried about this and there's no way to get extra support under it, we can just go 3 plates deep and then have this with something else on, kind of blank, put a half plate on or something. We'll figure something out. But yeah, we have a raised platform. So the plan is to have the train track run along the back wall underneath it and then come out, tunnel. I can show you actually where the tunnels are going to be now. So tunnel here and then tunnel here, which is why that might not be able to be there. And then it loops around the front. We'll have a train station either here or probably more likely here now we've extended the platform, because this is going to be the theme park and beach area and we've not got a huge amount of space to work with there. So rather than using that for train station, I might put the train station here. But that is, I mean, that's the fun stuff now. This is the rubbish bit that I was afraid of out of the way. From here on in, it's pretty much Lego all the way. I have got to lift that one more time to get plates under it, probably, unless I am really lucky with where I put the supports and I can kind of thread the plates around them. But I suspect I'm just going to have to tuck plates under once that Lego order comes. But this is it. We have a raised platform. That's so cool. I was so sure it was going to mess up somehow. It still might. But right now, I'm so chuffed with myself. If nothing else, that's the most efficient piece of DIY I've ever done in my 41 years. So something positive's come out of this Lego. I'll be building my own house inside a year. I'm sweaty now, though. Whew. Goodness me, I need to get the fan on in here. And by any criteria available, we will refer to this as a roaring success. Yeah, in an ideal world, the raised platform comes a little bit further this way and a little bit further that way. But you know what? We can get around that with Lego. The fact that we can get the train in, it's actually really close to the wall. I thought it might collide with the wall, but it doesn't. It fits through there fine. And that is absolutely perfect. We can now get started building the modulars finally. It feels like it's been so long. There's even probably some spots I can fit in another leg. I've put one in here. That one here isn't attached. I think you could probably fit one in over there as well, on that back edge. And yeah, we've got one more that we can squeeze in somewhere as well. I still need to level the table, but it is looking pretty good. Well, I'm going to consider it a good sign that I finished streaming at 10 p.m. and immediately came up here to carry on, and I've had a bit of a tidy up after all of the shenanigans earlier on. So I've got the half-built Dungeons and Dragons set back over there, but most importantly, we've got roads in. I think that's where the roads are going to be, on the lower tier, as I think I'm going to be calling it. So there'll be a tunnel there for the train and also a tunnel there for the road. We might put one more road back there as well. Over this side, we do have our first modular in as well. It was the first one I built. We've got the Sanctum Sanctorum, and the plan at the moment is to have the Daily Bugle and the Avengers Tower next to it, if they'll fit under there, because it might be a little bit touch and go whether they do. We might have to do some moving around if they don't. I don't really want either of them on the front row though, so we might just move the Sanctum further on, which makes it a little bit harder to see, but we could easily fit the Avengers Tower and the Daily Bugle on this end if we have to. I've worked out I need another 4 packs of road plates to be able to get the roads all the way along there, possibly 5 if we have some up this end, but it is actually starting to take shape. So we're going to have the Marvel area here. That will be a row of modular buildings, both the official modulars and the ones that I knock together off of rebrickables and various other bits and bobs. I've just realised how much of a gap I've got just there. I don't quite know how that's ended up like that, but there we go. I don't think that's ruined anything. I have put a couple of extra legs in. I think we're okay doing that. We might even move it out eventually anyway, but the plan for this end, once we put a tunnel on here, is probably to extend it out and put the wall on, and we can probably then move everything a little bit further and maybe even fit another modular in that corner. We'll then have another row of modulars here. I'm thinking Assembly Square at the front as like a centerpiece. If I can ever pick up the town hall, maybe that'll go next to it, or maybe we'll go Assembly Square and Museum here. Train station over there. And then we've got the lighthouse and the beach lighthouse there, beach here. Right, so theme park, Legolandy stuff here, beach here, but the lighthouse maybe in that back corner, and then have sea just coming and filling a little bit, probably narrow at the top to fit the lighthouse in and a little bit wider here, and then have a beach area. I have got a couple more rides to put in the theme park. So you can see I've got the space roller coaster down there, and I've also picked up the Ferris wheel as well. So the theme park is definitely taking shape. And now I just need to get building. So the next Lego City update will likely be when my pick-a-brick order arrives, because that'll be when we put the train track and the roads onto mills plates and ballast the rail. Hopefully we'll have a new modular or 2 in the city by then again, and maybe even the new road plates, but I'm not ordering them until the new gift with purchase starts next week, because we've already got 2 of the trellis and we'd quite like the new gift with purchase shop. So no more Lego orders until the new gift with purchase is out. It is taking shape. I'm so excited. I did promise you as well a look around Anna's room. I'll show you that in the morning, because we don't have the lights set up in there yet, so it's not great lighting in the evening. So I'll head up there in the morning to finish the video off and just show you the progress up there. But all is coming along very, very nicely. I am very happy. So it's the next morning. We've snuck up into Anna's room. Let's have a little sneak around and see what she's been getting up to. So as you can see, there's still a lot of unbuilt sets here, including a few new ones that have been picked up since I think we last showed it. She's got the Friends sets at the back. The Disney Castle is still there, waiting to be built. She's currently working on the long neck from, what's the game called? Horizon. So she's currently halfway through building that. You can see she's got her little setup with our iPad sat there. The computer is still very much a work in progress. We're just waiting for a multi-way adapter so that we can get all that plugged in. We have got internet up here now, but once that's plugged in, we've got the face cam, which will be going on that tripod. We've got the microphone stand thing, and somewhere down there we've got a couple of Elgato lights as well, so the lighting in here will improve. But the key difference is, as you can see, she has been building. So quite a few sets that have now come to life. That one's really cool. And she's got the Snow White one there as well. A few minifigs. A few non-Lego things as well. They were bought up in Edinburgh. This is a cool set as well. So she is starting to look at this vase, awesome giraffe vase. She's starting to work through it all, but we are probably less than a week away from this room being what I would consider finished in here as well, with the computer and the lighting and the sound and all that stuff set up, so that we don't have this horrible lighting situation that we've got now. And then we can start producing content, streams, videos, reviews, stuff like that will all start to happen in here with the proper Lego-y backdrop, rather than in front of a plain white wall in my room. And my room will be for my solo streams and the Lego City. So it's happening. Progress is happening, folks. But having said that, I have come to stand in front of my white wall again to end the video and just have one final look for this video at how the city's doing, because I'm so proud of it. I'm so happy. If you've enjoyed this video, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for us. Subscribe to the channel for loads more Lego content. There'll be another Lego City video coming very soon as well. And thank you very much for watching.